During my 20 plus years living in Taiwan, Hong Kong, and mainland China, mostly mainland China, I made a lot of great friends, had a lot of great experiences, had some pretty challenging experiences too, but it was all a learning experience, and I am really thankful for my friends who are always there for me to help me better understand what's going on, because a lot of times I didn't get it. It's like, what? And I could talk to my friends and they would explain things to me. They taught me about the culture, the language, so many aspects of life in China and Chinese history, philosophy that I would have never had the opportunity to learn otherwise. So I'm going to talk today about a trip that I took, and this will be a mixture of Mandarin and English, and so hopefully it'll connect all the way through. 今天我要谈一个我在1996年左右的一个农民旅游。我计划的这个旅游就是从北京坐硬座到徐州，然后就从徐州可以往4个不同省去看一看吧，就是到某一个小角落，到某一个小城镇去看一看。关键就是为了能够有一种就是说以中国农民的一种生活方式来有一个体验他们的生活。So the basic idea behind it was to go to 4 provinces and that come together, sort of like the 4 corners in the U.S., where there are 4 states that come together and there's 4 provinces that come together, that they're like within close proximity of the city of Xu Zhou in Jiangsu. And those 4 provinces are Jiangsu, Shandong, Anhui, and Henan. Those 4 provinces. I went from Xu Zhou took buses to each one of those provinces to visit a little village, and just the whole reason behind this was so that I could experience sort of like the life of an average person in the 90s who would not be able to afford anything but a hard seat train. And so I took hard seat the whole way. I took, for a 2-week vacation, or for a 2-week experience, I took 1,000 renminbi. And so that had to cover everything. Yeah. 我是从北京起发的，坐火车到徐州。当时我的好朋友他的母亲告诉我说，你每天一定要吃蒜，因为到外面去的时候要小心卫生，因为有的时候这个吃的东西可能会卫生不是和城市一样干净，所以他们可能有一些就是能够吃坏了，所以他说你每天一定要每一顿饭都要吃一点大蒜，所以我做到最后一天。So I took my $1,000 renminbi, and I took off for a 2-week vacation with just a backpack. I had nothing that was like Western except a Swatch watch. Other than that, one thing that I didn't take was my passport, because I had a residency permit. 拿了我的居留证，居留就是说是居住的居留证，不是被拘留的居留证。然后那个我没有把我的护照带走，因为我已经打听到公安局问我去徐州这样去旅游的话，需要带我的护照吗？然后他们说不需要，因为你的居留证就可以代替你的护照，所以我就把护照留在家。So I took off to Xuzhou and got down to Xuzhou, and it was really late, and so I couldn't just I didn't want to stay there, really, honestly. I just wanted to go on to the villages and go on to the places that I wanted to go visit. And one place that was really interesting, once I got through Xuzhou, which was really a challenge, I was able to visit like a brick making factory, and I met these people that were working in the brick factory, and so I even spent the night with them in their quarters, whatever you want to call them, in the place where they slept, which was actually just sort of a makeshift brick building that was where they slept, and they stuck me on an empty cot, which was, I mean, the whole thing was an amazing experience, just put it that way. So anyway, I got to 徐州，我找了一些招待所，招待所说，打听我是哪里的，我是什么人呢？然后我告诉他们我是美国人，然后他们说不好意思，因为我们这里不可以接待外国人，我们只能是接待当地人，所以就说你必须得去这个大酒店，因为只有一个，当时在徐州只有一个是注定为外国人能住的。所以我到那边去打听，他们说一个晚上50个美金，50美金呢，当时那50美金是我的1000人民币的1/3吧，所以这个我刚刚到了，我还没有开始，我还有2周，我怎么能够一个晚上花50美金住一宿呢？所以我这就不行了。So I was trying to find a place to stay, and I was going around to some of the 招待所, which are sort of like hostels, and trying to find a place there to stay a night so I could leave the next morning and just head to start out on the other provinces and visit villages and whatnot. And the people told me, they said, you've got to go to this other place that is only for foreigners. We can't accept foreigners here, so you have to go to this hotel. So I went to the hotel and I asked about it, and they said that it was $50 for a night. And, you know, I've got like 1,000 renminbi, $50 of that's like a third of the 1,000 renminbi. And so that wasn't going to work out very well since this was just my first night. So I told the lady at the counter, I said, look, I only have 1,000 renminbi, and I'm not here to stay, or, you know, I'm just going on a little trip around to the peasant villages and stuff. And she didn't know what to do, so she called the Gong'anju. She called the police, and they came over. 后来那个饭店的柜台的那个人，他打了个电话给公安局，公安局来了，然后他们想要看我的证件，我把我的居留证拿出来给他们，然后他们没说什么就请我到他们的办公室去，所以我就跟着走了。到了办公室去以后，他们就把我锁在一个房间里，然后就开始问我很多问题，古古怪怪的问题，说好像我不是美国人，说我是新疆人，假装美国人。然后这个我都觉得是很有意思的想法。我当时因为他们说你没有护照，那你怎么证明你是美国人呢？你肯定是新疆人，莫名其妙。So the Gong'an came and they had me go to their office, and so I went to their office, and then they locked me into an office or a room, and they said that I was somebody from Xinjiang feigning an American, that I wasn't really American. And so they said, I don't have my passport, and I have no way to prove that I'm American. And I said, this is a legitimate and official ID card from the Chinese government that says that I am a resident of China. And I asked the people in Beijing before I left if I needed to bring my passport, and they said no. So why don't you call Beijing and find out? And so they left the room, and about 2 hours later, it seemed like 2 years, they came back and found out that actually I was correct, that I didn't need my passport, and that I was actually who I was. The guys had completely lost face, and they weren't really very interested in continuing the conversation. But they did arrange for me to have a room at the hotel for 50 renminbi, yay, which fit my budget. And they ordered me to leave the next day. They said, you have to get out of this town the next day. So it was really a crazy experience. But from there, everything went really smooth until the last day when I didn't eat garlic, which I don't think I said. I was saying that in Chinese. One of my friend's mothers told me to eat garlic every day with your food because you might get sick otherwise, and this is a good way to fight off or fend off getting anything. And so I did eat garlic every day except for like the last day, and I regretted it because I ended up with an amoeba. It was really miserable. The train ride back to Beijing was miserable. It was full. The train was full. People were sleeping on the floor. Trying to get into the bathroom was kind of crazy because people were halfway in the bathroom because there was nowhere else to stand. So, 当时我在那个办公室里，他们把我锁在里面。我告诉他们，我说我已经和北京打过招呼，问过可不可以不带我的护照。北京说可以不带，你可以依靠你这个居留证。所以我告诉他们说，你们打个电话到北京公安局了解一下情况。还好，因为那是晚上，还好，我以为可能是到第二天才会有人可以联系上。可是他们确实是那天晚上都联系上北京的人，然后北京那边就确认了，就为我确认了，就是说可以不需要带护照，可以带居留证，完全都可以，而且还确认我的身份，我是美国人，我不是新疆人装美国人的。所以了解了以后，他们帮我安排在宾馆，在旅游，在那个饭店帮我安排一个50块人民币的一个晚上，在那边住一宿，50块。第二天就他们说一定要离开徐州，不可以在这里停留。所以我说没有问题，我一定要走，明天一早我就走，我就颠儿了。所以其实这个是一个非常有意思的一个旅游。因为我到最后一天我没有继续吃大蒜，所以吃上了一个就是吃坏了得了一个胃穷，然后就是回北京的火车特别慢，人特别慢，没法坐，没法，很多人都站着，然后上厕所特别不方便，因为其实是拉肚子，整个一路就一路拉肚子，很难受。反正这就是一个很有意思的一个，我在中国的一个经历，That was an experience that I had while I was living in China. It was a great memory and wonderful friends, and everything was great. But it was a little bit challenging. And the first time I had ever been told that I was not an American, I was somebody from Xinjiang. But to each his own. 各有所好，再见。